Hey guys, so this video is going to be a review of what we did today in class. So if you felt like you got behind or you're not sure if you did it right, then please watch this whole video. And I'm going to start with how to install Git. So to install Git, depending on what you have, you click Windows or Mac. So for example, I have Windows and I would click on this blue link right here. And then I'd click on this again. And then I click install, but I already have it installed, so I'm not going to do that. And then if you have Mac, you have to do one extra step. So once you're on this page, you click on install homebrew. So that'll take you to this page, and on this page all you're going to do is click on this little icon right here, and it's going to copy this one line. And then from there, all you're going to do is you're going to put that right into your terminal, copy and paste, and then click enter. And so I'm on Windows, so nothing's going to happen. It's not going to work. But if you're on Mac, you'll do that. It's going to install something. It might take a couple minutes, but just let it run all the way through, let it install. And then from there, once you finish installing it, you're going to go back to the Git website for downloading it on Mac. And then you're going to copy this right here. And then, again, paste that into your terminal and click enter. And then again, it didn't do anything for me because I'm on Windows. But that's how you would install, or that's how you install it in Mac. And so then you have Git installed at that point. To make sure you have it installed, you can go to your terminal, type git -- version, and then you want to see something like this, and that means you do have Git installed. So now that you have Git installed, you need a GitHub account, and I would make your GitHub account with your personal email address. And then your next step is going to be going back to your terminal, and now you're going to configure your username and your email. So to do that, you're going to type git config -- global space user.name and then space, and then in quotations your name. So you would put your full name and then click enter. And if nothing happens, that means it worked. If you get an error, then you might have typed something wrong. And then you're going to do that exact same thing, except this time you're going to put user.email and then instead of your name, you're going to put the email address that you made your GitHub account with. So that's important. It needs to be the same email address that you made your GitHub account with. So again, nothing happened, so that means it worked. And then if you want to make sure that it did work and you want to see your name and email, you can type git config and then -- list, and then at the very bottom it'll show you your email and your username. And by the way, if you're on Mac, it's the exact same thing. It shouldn't be different. You're typing in everything that I did. So now our next step is to fork the code and then clone it to your desktop. So I believe y'all should have this link to Moz's repository, which gives us the template for making our own website. If you don't have it, the link is github.com/mozamjad/create_website. And so once you're here, you're gonna fork the repository. So you just click on fork right here. And so what this is gonna do is it's gonna take Moz's repository and it's gonna basically copy it and make a new repository that's your own. So we create the fork, and it might take a second. And so now we have Moz's repo, and we basically copied it and put it in our own personal repository. So this is still exactly all his code from his repository. We just put it on our own. And you can see that by up here, it says my GitHub username and then my repository name. So from here, all you're gonna do is click code and then click copy URL to clipboard. So with this URL, you can clone it to your desktop. And how you do that is you right click on your desktop and click open in terminal. And I believe on Mac, it might not let you open terminal straight from your desktop. So what you can do on Mac is create a new folder. Let me delete this real quick. This was from class. And so I'm just going to name this Git repos. And yeah, so if you're on Mac, if you make a new folder and then right click it, then you should be able to open in terminal, I believe. But yeah, so open in terminal, whether on the desktop or in a folder that you have. And then once you open your terminal, it should say desktop at the last thing right here, or whatever folder you have it in, the name of the folder. So just make sure you're in the right directory, and then once you're here, you can type git clone, and then you're gonna paste that link that we got from your repo from right here. And then once you're gonna click enter. And so now you clone it to your desktop. So it might take a minute. As you see, it just popped up for me. So if you don't see it at first, just be a little patient. And if you still don't see it there, I believe if you go to your file explorer and go to desktop, sometimes you can find it here, but you won't find it on your desktop. It's weird, but then you can just drag it out to your desktop. But it should be on your desktop now or in a folder. And so from there, you want to open in terminal. And so now you have your code from your repo onto your computer. So you have the code on GitHub, and then you have the code on your local machine or your computer. So now that we have our code on our computer, in a folder or on your desktop, so this still has all of Moz's information on it. So for this assignment, you're gonna have to take out all of Moz's information and put your own. So to do that, you're gonna need to edit the code. You can use whatever code editor you want, but in this video I'm going to use Visual Studio Code because that's what I use. So this is the code that you're provided with, and so if you look at the index file, this is going to be like the home page. Usually in HTML or JavaScript, React, whatever you're using, the index file is going to be like the head file, the main file. So as you can see, there's a lot of code here, which you may not know HTML. If you don't know HTML at all, I would highly recommend going over, looking up HTML online and just trying to learn a couple of simple concepts about it. just so you're not completely lost when you're looking at this. But if you just take a minute to look around, you can kind of notice, you can start to realize what's going on. So here, let me run this. So if you click run, and then it's gonna ask you for a browser. I'm gonna use Chrome. So this is the code that you're provided with. Obviously, it's none of your information, so that's what you have to do. You have to change it. So for example, I'm gonna change the header here on the home page. So I'm gonna edit this. This is an H1 element, and so what that means is it represents header 1. If you learn some concepts about HTML, you'll learn what headers are and what P is. P stands for paragraph. But so if I want to change this right here, I would just put my name, and so I made a change, and now I'm going to save it. So I just clicked Control S, but I did save it. Now I'm going to open my terminal. Don't forget that whenever you're going to make changes to your code, when you're going to try to push it to your online repository, you can't just open terminal and then type git commit or git add or whatever. You need to open the terminal with the folder with all your code. So you need to right click on your folder that has all the code and then click open in terminal. And then if your folder is in another folder, then you would just double click that and then, for example, open in terminal. But make sure your directory is right and you see create underscore website right here. So I made those changes, but right now it's just saved on my computer. It's not uploaded to the online repository yet. So in order to do that, I'm going to put git add and then space period and then git commit -m, and then all -m is a message. So you're going to attach a message to your commit. So that way, once you're looking at your online repository, you can see your changes with your messages next to them. So I'm going to put a message that says changed name on home page. And I'm going to click enter, and then you can see it committed it, but it's not uploaded to your online repository yet. The last command is git push. And now after you've entered git push, now it's uploaded to your main branch on your online repository. So if we go look at my online repository, okay, let's just go here. So if I refresh, you can see I changed the name on homepage now. So now that our changes are made and they're on our online repository, if you go to where you edited your changes, so I changed one line in the index file, and it's right here, so you can see it got updated. And now if you go to your site and refresh, it already changed for me, but if you refresh it, it should now show your name. And so you guys have to change everything out, including the picture and all the links, and then eventually put your actual projects and then your actual resume. And so yeah, so that pretty much wraps up how to clone the repository and then make a change and then push it to main. And so that's going to be it for this video, and if you guys have any questions or are still confused, please feel free to email me or Maz, and we can definitely help you out. Thank you.